Just doing a bit of a check on the mango flowers. We've only ever had one spray of flowers once before, which came quite late in the season for this plant. It never eventuated into anything. The flowers decayed. I think the exciting thing for me this time is that we've actually got 2 sprays of flowers this year. The other theory is that the tree has been a bit stressed because it's been so cold this winter. Normally they sort of stay here in a patio sort of aspect, in just adjacent to the back of our house, where I think the location, the protection, thermal heat that comes off these pavers actually protects them. The one here in this corner has always been it was the larger of the 2, but it's had a little bit of dieback. This one here, as I said, has not flowered, but has coped far better with the cold in its position here. Just capturing, I think, that little bit more winter sun. Yeah, no, I've always been really happy with how well they've grown. Would really love to get a mango into the ground. Over here we have a seedling that I bought from Joe's Connected Garden, which is an incredible community initiative from a group of people, and it's suffered terribly in the cold, even though it's been protected, but it does have this shoot here, which I'm really happy about, and I can see the emergence of another shoot on this node. The top's obviously dying off, but I don't care. I'm glad it's surviving. If we can get a bit of heat now, it'll hopefully run away. Currently the corn seed that I put in recently we didn't get a great germination rate with it, probably about 70%, and we do use a lot of corn around here for 2 reasons. And the first is our own consumption. My wife particularly loves corn, but we also grow it for birds, finches that we have in aviaries. They're really my wife's finches, and she has 2 pretty extensive aviaries where she breeds a lot of those birds. So they devour corn, particularly when they're raising young. So anyway, we're going to try these 2 varieties. Miracle, which is a hybrid, an American variety, and another hybrid here, Early Extra Sweet. Now, as I said, my plans for next year are to go back to growing organically. I wasn't really set up for it this year because I got a bit distracted with other things that were taking up my time. I've watched some other YouTube videos recently around seed saving, and it's really inspired me again to get back into it. Often I've used a book for this, and I'll just show you that. So this is the Seed Savers Handbook by Michelle and Jude Fanton. They are growers in New South Wales who've started the Australian Seed Savers Network and have written this book here in Australia as a guide for seed collection. Best book I've ever seen for that use. So talks to you about setting up seed saving networks, talks to you about various varieties of plants that you can get, what you should look for, the strengths of certain plants, saving the seed, how you grow it. It's a really uniform guide, and if you're in Australia or anywhere around the world, the Seed Savers Handbook, strongly recommend anybody gets that. It gives you a lot of guidance. As I said, unfortunately, I've sort of stepped away from that recently, but that's sort of a ride I want to get back on. I'm doing some soil improvement here because I'm with the corn I was showing you a little bit earlier. I want to reinvigorate these 2 beds, and I thought, considering I'm doing a little bit of experiment on varieties, even though I've completely forgotten which one this is, I thought we'd set up these two beds. I'm adding compost from our compost cone over here. That'll give me an opportunity to empty that and get it ready, reload it for another year. Over here where we got our seedling trees, the middle bed here, it's got a little bit of crap sitting on it at the moment, but basically they are going to be redesigned as to where that bed is. I'm not quite sure. I might divide the bed, I don't know. Some rot's gotten into the sleepers at the end, so it's making it a little bit hard, and it does need some repair. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the seedling trees over. They can sit on that space there. There's already some hooping there from some old tent structure, so keep those if you ever get them. But yeah, we're going to move these over and so we can start remediating these beds. So the two beds are ready. We've added compost from the compost cone. It's turned out to be really lovely stuff. Really rich and dense, and adding with the sort of compost stable straw that we've added here. And you might be able to see that, you know, in this, you know, it's alive with small worms. It's really, really good. Anyway, so now to get some planting done. Okay, so this bit here, we're going with the early sweet, and here we're going with the miracle. So I'll get them in and then we can have a look at the end. Mind you, I don't think at the end it'll look much different than what it does now. Okay, so the seed is now in. We have the miracle variety here, the early extra sweet variety here. One thing I did notice was the miracle seed was considerably larger than the early extra sweet, so maybe it's an indication we're going to get a smaller seed pod cob, or maybe it's just sheer size or volume, I don't know. But anyway, they're going to be bedded in with some of my diluted chook poo, a little bit of extra nitrogen in the soil for a grass crop like corn to get going quickly. There's a video about that on making chook poo fertiliser in my channel back catalogue if you want to go and have a look. So we'll get that in and we'll have a look at the end. Okay, so they're ready to go, put away, and I'll keep you updated on how they go. Dogs, who'd have them? Shame I like them so much.